Sup bitches, I'm Daniel San. Today Alckemy is letting me take the reins to learn you and phase plant. Take a gander at this sick pad. Before we get started, subscribe to my dude as he's been busting his gerbil at getting to 10k. Help a brother out, and consider getting his new preset pack Eternum 2 loaded with sick patches. On to business, check out phase plant. The premise of this video is about using pitch effects in conjunction with randomizers in order to have octaves and fifths creep in and out, creating lush chords with only a single MIDI note. Because Alckemy is relatively illiterate and I, Daniel San, can't read very well, I'd encourage you to study this patch, not to copy but to look at how the general setup is applied, as it'd be very difficult to recreate. You know Alckemy be doing that Alckemy shit and you shouldn't try to copy pasta sounds anyways. Be original you dork. Anywho, the generators on the left are just simple sine waves. The top one is detuned with 4 voices and is turned down. Also pitched at +7 semitones. The bottom sine wave is our main source, just leave it as is. Below that we have some distortion where the overdrive has a randomizer to where it'll subtly bit the sound as it goes through the rest of the processing. Group 2 is a similar setup bit with triangle waves, and the volume is randomized at a very slow rate to fade in and out. By the way, these days Alckemy tends to use HZ instead of sync for modulators because at really odd and fast BPMs it still sounds consistent. You can always switch it if you want it. After that let's add a sweeping band pass around the mid frequencies to give that nice underwater feel. Yeah, take a dip in my sound. I mean Alckemy's sound. Below that we want a subtle choir to come in and out but we want it to be separate of the band pass filter, so place it below. Finally, because this is a layer, add a high pass filter and adjust it to where it doesn't interfere with the source group. This is typically how Alckemy sets up his pads just so that there is a lot of movement to work with, but you can substitute the pitched generators by playing your own chords. Alckemy is just lazy and terrible at music theory so he relies on the plugin to do his dirty work. What a jokester if you ask me. Don't tell him I said that, I've seen his ninja flips. Okay, moving on to the effects, there is a low pass filter with both a filter and envelope. We want the initial sound to open up so it has a means of consistency and then the randomizer will take over and make it washy. The delay below is nice because it has an LFO on the pan that moves slowly from left to right. Now to the star of this video. Randomizing pitch shifters at chord intervals create this wonderful pseudo arpeggiator that blossoms at random. Using a couple of these creates the organic evolving texture that Alckemy said puts him to sleep. Next we have some EQ scooping the mids. Now, if you've purchased Alckemy's preset pack you'd know he likes to make racks that have a bunch of crazy effects, so I'm going to briefly show you and explain what's happening here. The most intricate piece of this is the pitch of this pitch shifter is mapped to a macro. Why you ask? Because it allows you to use the phase plant modulators, and in this case, the LFO has become a stepper that's playing notes at every -12, 7, 0, and 12th interval. This combined with the delay further increases the bloom I mentioned earlier. Next we send it to a band pass and then a high pass as sometimes the resonance of the band can come off as shrieky. Then we compress, do some more filtering and presto the besto. Let's get to the next toe. Finish this lane off with some reverb and compression. Send lane 1 to lane 3. Now we go to lane 2. Lane 2 also goes to lane 3 but is very basic in comparison to lane 1. There's some ping pong delay and reverb, and again compress it. The compression diminishes the difference between loud and quiet sounds so it makes the amplitude seem more consistent. Otherwise at times it will seem obnoxiously loud and other times inaudible. By the way, group 1 goes to lane 1 and group 2 goes to lane 2. Now let's finish the puppy up with the good old classic makeshift tilt shift EQ. Just grab a 3-band EQ and LFO the low and high bands for more motion. Finally, add a limiter and adjust to your liking. The final thing with this down below is where Alckemy really encourages the viewers to experiment. Try randomizing different effects to see how the applied effects can start to interact with each other. There's a high probability that you will either find something you like or discover something you want to try next. Alckemy says thank you for watching. He loves you, but I, Daniel San, do not. But I might change my mind if you subscribe, comment and like the video, and buy Alckemy's new preset pack as it's kick-ass and loaded with value. Seriously, it's the best dang old neurobase preset pack out there. It's like Legos but with neurobase. It'll slap the eyebrows off you and punch you in the elbow while making you thirsty. It's that good. Thanks everyone. Let me know how annoying my voice is in the comments.